Now the most important part is order flow. This is the brand new update. So the order flow signals tab. As you see right now, like I said, the market's closed for forex, commodities, futures, indices. So crypto is the only one showing. In the top here, you can select the assets. We're just only going to select crypto for now since it's the only one's running. And we'll clean up this table a little bit. Select the time frames you want to see. So as you see here, we have the different symbols and assets that are tracked, the different time frames on the x-axis, and the units here, which are color-coded and word-coded. Updates like that, as you just saw, happen every 5 minutes. So signals come in every 5 minutes. It'll update the table, update the signals down here, and recalculate based on each individual signal, order flow signal that comes in, and calculates it into a bullish or bearish stamp based on a back-end calculation of everything put together, how old the signal is, how long it's been around, the score, and a bunch of other information you can see in the order flow signals guide. For Bitcoin here specifically, it says 1 and then in parentheses 1-0 bullish. The first one is the total number of signals that have occurred in the recent time for the 5 minute for Bitcoin. So one total signal has happened, and then this is bullish to bearish. So one bullish signal, 0 bearish signals combined equals bullish. See here, one total signal, 0 bullish, 1 bearish equals bearish. Same for these. The overall 6 total signals, 2 are bullish, 4 are bearish, that equals bearish. Mixed is going to be when there's not enough leaning in one direction or the other. So 7 total signals, 4 bullish, 3 bearish, mixed. A very bullish signal now for Solana. I explained how all these work. 16 total, 13 bullish, 3 bearish, labeled as very bullish. If you hover over it, it shows some information. It's not the most important, it's kind of just explaining what's happening here. The max score 14.21. Score of these order flow signals is determined by the statistical relevance of the individual signal itself. For example, if we go down here, bearish absorption wick with a score of negative 1.87. The higher the number, the more absorption there was. So in this case, bearish absorption wick is a high positive delta or a high amount of market buys in the wick of the candle, and then it closes below all those market buys, creating a bearish absorption wick. So 1.87 is the relative amount of market buys that are trapped in that wick, where you see this Ripple one with a score of negative 5.5 compared to 1.87, it'll show relative to the look back period on Ripple, it's got a significantly high statistical amount of bearish absorption. So this wick probably has significant amount of market buys in it that were trapped and closed below. So that's the max score. Then you have the badge very bullish we discussed. Bull and bear is going to be the score of each side. So bullish W is 10, bear W 1.2. That's why that goes into the calculation for why this is very bullish. You have the bull and bear count and the total count. That's the overall how you're going to use the heat map. This is going to be for the overall understanding of what's happening. So if you're in a 1-minute trade, a 60-minute signal from an hour ago is not going to be as important as a 5-minute signal that happened recently. So this is for overall understanding. The order flow signals here, you can select what you want to see. So we'll look at this Ethereum. Now, once a signal has been around for too long, it's thrown out relative to the time frame of the signal. A 5-minute order flow signal will last about 15 minutes until it's not as relevant anymore. A 60-minute can last around an hour and a half to 2 hours after the signal occurred, and then it becomes irrelevant in relation to when the signal occurred. Each of these different signals that the system outputs can be learned and figured out in the order flow signals guide. We're also in the process of developing an extremely thorough order flow education that will be completely free, but it will explain each of these in depth for if you do want to do your own order flow analysis, volume footprint charts, and you can use this at the same time or not use it at all, but we're still going to give that information out. Order flow is extremely important.